Hey, everybody out there, you enjoying the Geek Show podcast right here on YouTube. I am the Geek,
This is Special G.
and we're here to remind you to listen to our weekly podcast here on YouTube and also to subscribe right now to get updates on the newest episodes of the Geek Show and the Geek Show Live. Also, to join us on Facebook and Twitter anytime on The Geek Show. And please enjoy this episode of The Geek Show. Welcome everyone to the Geek Show. How are y'all doing today? I am the Geek, and I'm joined today with Special G. So how are y'all doing out there? Today is August 6th, 2014, and we're bringing you the Geek Show on YouTube, our very first edition of this show that we're actually filming for YouTube. As you know, we have been filming for a long time for Podomatic. Podomatic is gone. No more. I mean, it sucks because we've actually lost Podomatic. So I mean that was a really big hit for us. But now we give it to y'all for free on YouTube every week, which is amazing.
Yes, it is. I give it to you free all day.
So today we're gonna talk about some head stories that top stories that top headlines. There we go. Let we film this show, and sometimes we get a little tongue twisted. But you know what? That's the beauty of a podcast. Um, you don't give a crap how we sound. You don't give a crap that we mess up sometimes, because sometimes the mess up is the funniest part of the whole show.
Yeah, especially when we mess up.
Um, Today we're going to talk about a story that came out of China, if I'm right. It's a whale shark, and I'm gonna let Special G talk a little bit about this because he actually done some research on this.
Okay. Off the Fujian province coast of China, there was this whale shark that was caught. Well, ensnared in a net by Captain Chai Zhenzu. Well, he said it was accidentally ensnared, and in trying to free it, it died. Well, there's considerable doubt because when he said that it was ensnared and when they tried to release it, but it died beforehand, that is due to the fact that they are uh, filter feeders, which means they won't usually just break through a net to catch fish because all they got to do is swim through the water and they eat constantly. Well, the biggest part of that is trying to carry something about was estimated to be estimated at about 14 and a half feet long and weigh about 4,000 pounds. Well, the biggest trouble of that is they're an endangered species, especially in that part of the world. So trying to do that, that's going to cause an uproar. Not, but a little more on the whale shark. They can grow up to be about 30 feet long and weigh almost, I believe, about somewhere between 6 and 8,000 pounds. Dude, I eat more than that a year. I eat a lot. You should know this by now. You've paid for a bunch of it. But getting back to the story, uh, do, 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 do. I've lost my page. Where'd it go? There we go. Off the coast of Fujian. But with this being caught, it's like, how in the world? You should have seen the picture. Actually, I seen it. If y'all actually want to see the rest or the full story, get on Yahoo. Just scroll through the main, like the headline stories. Well, if you can actually catch it, get on Yahoo. Go through the headline stories, and you'll see this. It looks like a big fish. They're also known to be some of the largest fish in the world.
Probably actually get in the Yahoo search bar and type in whale shark, and it'll probably pop up.
That's a grand possibility. Y'all really should because this looks to be crazy. And we all know we both like crazy. Because, well, I'm not going to that. Well, I'll do that in a later segment, getting into the crazy stuff I like. But here we go with the rest of the show.
So, some other headlines that's happened over the last week. TNA Wrestling has made some big headlines. As you know, Spike TV announced that in October, TNA will not be getting renewed, that they're losing their TV deal. Now, with that, that's a big hit on TNA, with them already having financial trouble, having big roster cuts, and, the talent wise. And the survival of TNA is really, you know, very limited right now. Um, but Vince Russo, um, main reason they lost the deal is because of Vince Russo. Vince Spike TV supposedly did not want Vince Russo a part of that company, and he signed on as a consultant, but they kept it a secret. With that point, Spike TV found out about it, and that's why they said they're not going to renew their TV deal. I think someone will renew it because TNA does get over 1 million views a week off of a TV show. So to me, if someone doesn't pick it up, it'd be kind of stupid. Something I would like to see is Ted Turner's corporation, TBS or TNT, pick it up and kind of relaunch the Monday Night Wars. That'd be kind of cool. Um, something else that'd be kind of cool. Cool is if TNA can revive itself. Which right now, I don't know if how many people actually do tune in TNA, but I've tuned in the last 2 weeks. I watched it constantly for a while. I gave up on it. It was awful. It was garbage. Recently, I've been watching. The competition's been better. The wrestling's gotten better. We got to see one of our dream matches last week on Impact, which was the Hardy Boys versus the American Wolves, which was one of the ultimate dream matches for wrestling. Got to happen. It was probably one of the best matches I've seen of this year, and that puts it at a pretty high pedestal. Um, TNA announced that at the August 6th taping, we will see Team 3D, the Hardy Boys, and the Wolves in a three-way tag team war, and that should be interesting.
Make it a TLC match and it'd be on.
Well, see, the Wolves have never been in a TLC. Man, see, WWE owns the rights to that TLC concept a little bit, so that would be a little hard. Um, but
Just tell them they're allowed to break anything. All you got to do is tell them break out anything y'all want to. Bring it on.
and it probably will. And then on that note, TNA, the show's getting better, the wrestling's getting better. With them losing Kurt Angle here in a couple months, him on his way possibly back to WWE, it's gonna get interesting to see what kind of talent TNA will pull in. Um, especially now with them not knowing the future with their TV deals. So that'd be interesting. So we're gonna go into our next segment here. Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, everything to throw down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Ain't miss, can't miss. When we run into the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay grinding while our fame can rise. And steady climbing now we walk time. So, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, they've been talking about merging the shows. Um, I don't know, like merging them as like one night tapings, doing Raw live and then taping SmackDown, main event, superstars, all that in one going to cut budget due to a lot of situations that's been going on with the company. As you know, they've done a lot of cuts. They've also cutted um, Roberto Rodriguez, which was Dario's personal ring announcer. They cut him. They've cut a couple people from the roster. I mean, and there's not been a lot of big names. They've done a big NXT cut too, just recently. They cut a lot of the people from NXT that they weren't really using. So I mean, I can understand them cutting people they're not using, but it makes you wonder why all these cuts are coming. Um, the WWE Network is only at 730 view subscribers right now. So
730. I believe it's into the thousand, like 730,000.
I mean that's not good. I mean, because they were expecting to be over that. They were expecting to have a couple million.
At least twice of what they've got. I mean, seriously, for what they're giving, they're pretty much giving it away at this point.
And what's so cool about it is it does launch worldwide, and maybe that the subscribing level will boost up there, and they can do it. But with that, with the budget cuts coming, and also multiple names getting signed in the company, big names, which we're gonna get into that here in a minute about one of the biggest names that could be coming. Um, and then another thing, WrestleMania, they're talking about cutting pyro, which in some ways, I can understand why they might cut it this year because they're gonna be in California. They're gonna be in an outdoor arena. It's gonna be 4 o'clock when it starts there. By the time the pay-per-view's over, it's just barely gonna start getting dark. So I mean, what's the point of having pyro?
I mean, seriously, if you could probably cut if they've got like a budget of say 175,000, you could probably roll it back to say anywhere from I'd say 90 to 100 and still have an effective pyrotechnics work.
Well, and then the WWE Network also talking about going up $10. And a lot of people complaining about that. I don't see the big complaint about it because I still feel like $20 is a lot better a month than paying sometimes 50, $60 to $120 a month for pay-per-view.
Yeah, considering when you're paying, I think the minimum I've seen on them 60 for one pay-per-view, considering what all the network really gives you, you're still getting a great deal, especially when they do somewhere anywhere from 1 to 2 uh what's the word I'm looking for here? Pay-per-views per month.
And I mean, and the biggest one of them all is coming up right now, SummerSlam. Well, WrestleMania is the biggest one, but SummerSlam, is kind of like the in between of that. There's to me 4 big ones a year. There's SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. If you get all 4 of those for free, that's awesome. And to me, I'm excited because I get to go to Night of Champions, and I might get to see my ugly mug on WWE Network, which will be awesome.
You know you're gonna have to make a sign that says Special G. I'm here.
Yeah, but Bray Wyatt might come see you. Well, he might think you're brothers. And honestly, if you've never seen Special G, get on Facebook or check out the videos. Him and Bray Wyatt kind of do look alike in some ways. If he was a little bit more bigger, they would be twins.
Seriously, when he pointed this out, I was like, "No, there ain't no way. I don't look like this man." And then I got to looking at an old photo. Now, granted, if you put probably about another, I'd say somewhere between 75 and 80 pounds on me and give me long hair, we'd look a lot alike. Because if I have to, if I can find the photos for it, I'll show you.
Um, and I mean that's pretty cool. I mean, with all well, and it's bad enough that his brother in real life is Bo Dallas. I mean, he looks like your brother Max.
I mean, seriously, no, it's almost there. It's almost scary. If you put probably another, I'd say 45 to 50 pounds worth of muscle mass on my brother and give him back his long hair, he'd look just like him.
And I'm the one that actually pointed that out to you about him. And I pointed it out to you back when Bo Dallas was actually in NXT, and that scared you. And you don't even like the guy, honestly. You really don't. But I don't even know if I've told you even this. Bo Dallas has finally been defeated in WWE.
Who beat him?
R-Truth.
Hallelujah! The truth has set him free.
But what sucks is, to me, R R-Truth, him losing to someone like that kind of tells me that WWE is not impressed with Bo Dallas. Because, I mean, it should have been a bigger name to beat him, not R-Truth.
I mean, I can see your point on that, but then again, the gimmick he's got, I mean, really is not really been seen, and well, he pulls it off rather well.
That's true. And Vince McMahon is kind of sour right now with some of the new people. Adam Rose is one of them. Bo
I can't
Dallas,
stand that.
Bo Dallas, and Paige. He's really sour about all of them, but I mean, he's really happy about Rusev and um. Out of all of them, to me, if you bring up so many people, you're not gonna get a perfect apple of all of them.
Very true. I mean, out of a bushel, you're gonna have a couple bad ones.
So we're gonna get into our next little segment here. So, Comic Con was last week, and WWE had a press conference, and they announced a new toy. It was a Sting action figure. Now, unknown of Paul Heyman, Hulk Hogan, and Daniel Bryan, there was someone else there, and that man is also known as Sting. Sting shows up for his very first WWE appearance ever, and literally goosebumps all over my body for that, because that is amazing. I've been waiting for this for years to see Sting on WWE, and with that, he had a little interview afterwards. Do you think he's gonna sign as a wrestler, or do you think he's gonna keep with the business still?
I think he's debating on it, but in all reality, he may come back as a wrestler.
I mean, to me, him and Triple H would be a dream match. Him and Bray Wyatt would be a dream match. I mean, him and Undertaker, but that's probably past, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. When when I first heard Sting was coming back, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, him and the Undertaker would just be awesome. And then I remembered, damn, he got hurt.
Well, the streak's over, and with the streak ending at WrestleMania, I mean, it was historic. I mean, in a lot of ways, it was historic. No one expected it, and they always say anything happened in WWE. That was literally one of them. Do you see Undertaker coming back for a retirement match, and that could Sting be that possible opponent?
Now that I could see, it may take some time, but hopefully we'll see it.
Well, as you, I haven't told you this yet, but it was announced today that Undertaker will make his first public appearance back since his injury at the Wizard World and Dallas, Texas Comic Con in freaking October. He will be there. He will be appearing.
I don't care if I have to hitchhike. I'm gonna be there.
So, and maybe by that time, maybe we can get on to work that or something, maybe, because as you know, I'm. So that'd be kind of cool. On that note, SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, is just a couple weeks away, and we have literally 4 big matches to talk about with that. We're gonna give some predictions. First thing first, everybody. I literally am excited for this pay-per-view. And the reason why is this man right here. So, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Now, a lot of people are having a hard time with this because Brock Lesnar is a part-timer. And the rumor is Lesnar's going to win. That's the rumor going around. And to me, I kind of see it happening. Cena's leaving WWE. Cena's leaving soon. He's on his way to Hollywood. Bye-bye John Cena. No more John Cena in WWE. He is on his way out. He's going to be the next Rock. So, to go to Hollywood and never look back, basically. Can a lot of people upset that Brock Lesnar's going to win the title and carry it to WrestleMania? Because the rumor is Lesnar and Reigns for the title at WrestleMania. So, but a lot of people though are upset. But to me, I don't mind it. Cause you know what, Brock Lesnar, every time he does step in the ring, he gives us first class matches. They're great matches, and even if he only wrestles the pay per views, who cares? I mean, it's just one of those things. Is he puts on good matches? He's good, and back in the day, the champions never showed up at TV tapings. They only showed up at the big events. I mean, to me, why does it matter?
Because I mean, granted, like you said, he does put on a pretty good show. But if you only defend your title once every, say, 3, 4 months, well, at least once every 30 days, okay. If he holds it for at least 3 pay-per-views, hell, that's a good chunk of time. And to me, that's just for a part timer. It's just wrong.
Well, and I mean, WWE's kind of wanted to give him the belt because he deserves it. He beat the Undertaker. I mean, out of 21 people the Undertaker's fought. Well, and a lot of people do think that, but I've actually listened to some interviews Paul Heyman talked online. Only 3 men knew the finish of that match: Undertaker, not Paul Heyman, my fault. Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and Vince McMahon. Paul Heyman wasn't even allowed in that room. Those 3 talked it out. Taker literally wanted that match to end that way because that was a thank you to Paul Heyman.
Thank you to Paul Heyman.
If it wasn't Paul Heyman, there would be no Undertaker. Paul Heyman is the reason why the Undertaker even got into WWE.
We'll see. I'm gonna have to do my background history on all that.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever look back to some old WCW matches, Undertaker wrestled as a guy named Paul Heyman, something like that. It was some weird name, and Paul Heyman was his manager. Paul Heyman got him in WCW, and then and then Heyman left to go do ECW. Well, ECW, Vince called him and said, "Do you know any people from WCW I can pull?" He said, "Yeah, I know somebody. His name's Mark Calloway." He said, "Go get him, pull him," and that's when the Undertaker was born. So I mean, to me, he owes some reason. I mean, I feel like that was kind of a good thing for him.
Being said like that I can understand, but it's just I still have trouble wrapping my mind around that entire uh what's the word I'm looking for here? Yes.
And I mean, but to me, no one's ever going to forget the Undertaker, and definitely now they'll never forget Brock Lesnar. Um, the next match we're going to talk about, speaking of Bray Wyatt, the return match between him and Chris Jericho from Battleground. As we know, Chris Jericho beat Bray Wyatt at Battleground. So, I kind of say Bray Wyatt will win this one. Just because this time the Wyatt family will be at ringside.
Very true. Now, granted, I don't much care for Bray Wyatt. It's just personal, or not necessarily personal. It's just something about him. It just irks me. And I'm sorry, but I'm not a Jerichoholic. There are very few holics that I can claim. So, out of the two, I'm going to say Bray because it's the lesser of two evils.
Well, and the final match I would say would happen at Night of Champions in Nashville, Tennessee, and I see Bray Wyatt getting the better of him because Chris Jericho's riding off into the sunset again at Night of Champions. So I mean, he only comes in for a little bit and he leaves again.
Yeah, good riddance.
Well, and it's because he's got Fozzy, his band. So I mean, he's always outperforming for his fans that he truly loves. Next match, we're gonna go back a little bit on this one. This started at Payback. Brie Bella slapped the hell out of Stephanie McMahon at Payback.
I better do it again.
Well, as you know, Brie Bella quit. 2 weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, Nikki Bella invited Brie to Raw. Well, Brie got out there, hugged her. Stephanie came out and kind of initiated it. Well, then we heard Brie call Stephanie a bitch, and they kind of started talking, and Stephanie slapped Brie Bella. Well, later on that night, Flow Rider comes out and performs. Well, okay, it's Flow Rider, who cares? Stephanie McMahon introduced him. Awful performance, and if you're a fan of Flow Rider, I'm sorry, but you need to watch Monday Night Raw and hear that performance. He was good. It was the woman that was with him. It kind of killed the mood of that whole show. Even the fans went into it. It was kind of bad. But Stephanie, said, Flow Rider, everybody. And then, it goes to the announcers. And then the announcers stopped talking and they start looking over. Two men have came up to Stephanie McMahon. They asked if she knew Brie Bella. They asked, did she slap Brie Bella? Stephanie said yes. Well, they informed her that they were cops and that in the state of Florida, she committed battery and was arrested and taken out of the arena on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, I so gotta watch this episode.
Well, last Monday night, the build up kept building. Final segment on Raw. Stephanie comes out and calls out Brie Bella. Brie comes out. Stephanie says, "Can you please drop the charges? Drop them, please. Drop them." Brie said, she goes, "I'll give your sister a raise." She goes, "That sounds good, but I want a couple other things too." Job back. Stephanie, kind of was weary and then gave her the job back. Well, next thing we know, she says, "Well, I want a match. I want a match at SummerSlam." Stephanie goes, "Oh, I'll give you a Divas title match, or I'll do a Total Divas thing. Anything you want." And Brie goes, "No, I want a match with you." Stephanie agrees, slaps the hell out of him, and they cat fight in the ring to end the segment with Triple H and a bunch of people trying to pull them off each other. It was so awesome. Literally, this match has had great build-up since Payback, and we knew it was coming. Brie Bella versus Stephanie McMahon. My prediction is Stephanie McMahon. And the only reason I say this, I think Nikki's going to turn on Brie. Because Nikki had to go through hell when Brie quit. Stephanie ran her through the gauntlet. I see the Bellas breaking up and having some kind of feud.
I can see that to an extent. Maybe not right now, but maybe a little farther down the road. Because me personally, I'd like to see Brie win. Because I can't stand Stephanie.
I can't stand Stephanie either, but I think it's gonna be best for business for Stephanie to actually win. Unfortunately, next match we're gonna talk about Rusev versus Jack Swagger of We the People with Zep Cobra versus his side, and with Rusev, he's got Lana on his side. This match will be a flag match. If you've never seen a flag match, basically what they do is they put two poles on the corner of the ring post. They hang a flag up there. Basically, you have to climb up the pole and grab your flag. And if you grab your flag, you're the winner. Who do you see winning this match, and who do you see it benefiting? Because I don't see Rusev getting his big chunky butt up that freaking pole to get that flag.
I see it snapping in half. He's trying to climb it.
But who do you actually think's gonna win this? Do you see Jack Swagger actually beating Rusev, or do you see him keeping on this powerhouse domination role that he's been having going on right now in WWE?
Unfortunately, I see Rusev getting it, but not easily. Only because Lana's going to interfere. All right.
Well, and there's also Sep Cobra outside too. You can't forget him.
Very true, but watch, knowing Zeb's luck, he's going to get distracted. I may not agree with her ideals, especially about Vladimir Putin, but she's cool. Granted, they're about a dime a dozen. You can get them off the internet all day. Sorry. But, yeah, Rusev will probably win it.
I see Jack Swagger winning this just because it's gonna be a good match. I think it will be. I don't see Swagger, they've kind of gave him this push lately. Why let him have this push and it die? To me, Rusev can fight back from it because he's still massive and power. And Lana's in some hot water right now, anyways, with the comment that was made at Battleground, talking about um, the ship getting shot, the plane getting shot down over Russia, saying stuff about that. That was kind of a huge.
She lucky she walked out the arena.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad situation. And also on the pay per view, there's also rumors of a tag team title match. I literally see the Usos fighting Ryback and Axel, which is Ryback, and maybe them throwing somebody else in this match, maybe like Goldust and Stardust, maybe. Which I would love to see them win the tag team titles again, especially with this new Stardust gimmick. I love it. It is so unique. It's so different. It's Cody Rhodes has really came into himself with this role, and it's kind of great. Hopefully, it'll be great for business. Another match we could possibly see. Um, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz versus Bo Dallas for the Intercontinental Championship. It ain't confirmed yet, but it could happen. Who you see walking away?
That's rather debatable because they're all good at what they do. But as far as my prediction, uh, um, I'd say the Miz will probably end up walking away with it.
Ziggler's kind of been red hot lately, but I don't ever see them giving him a belt either. Um, Bo Dallas to me kind of seems like the dark horse in this match. So I'm gonna go with the dark horse. I'm gonna say Bo Dallas.
That's on you.
Well, I believe so.
Oh hell no, you didn't.
Um, and with that, we're gonna jump into another segment here. On that, do you have anything to say about SummerSlam before we jump into this other segment?
I'm just waiting for the cards to fall where they do because when they do, it's gonna be hot, and I assure you, it's gonna be fun. And I seriously want to talk on this Brie and Stephanie match. I seriously want to see Brie win because I have a rather hateful disgust of Stephanie. Not to mention, is it me or is she getting fat? And I'm not talking fat as in PHAT like she used to be. I'm talking she got chunky. I think she been eating too much Rocky Road.
Well, and on that match too, I think if it has a potential to be a good match, if they go into like a cat fight situation, a natural fight situation, not try to have a natural wrestling match.
Not so much technical, but more street.
Yeah, because neither one of them are wrestlers really.
Very true.
So we're gonna go into our next segment here.
Well, a bird, bird, bird. Bird, a word, 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 Brian, don't you know about the bird? Well, Peter's gonna tell you about the bird. Well, a bird, bird. Bird, a word, well, a
The word of the day is thinker. Well, the story behind the thinker. If you don't know a lot about South Central Tennessee, there's this little place called Bedford County. And within Bedford County, there's this road. Its name is Warner's Bridge Road. And the reason the word of the day is Atlas is because at one time, thinker, sorry, my mistake. But the reason it's the word of the day is because at one time I used to car surf on this road. I would go from the hood to the trunk to the top of the car. Well, there is this one time where me and some friends of mine were going down Warner's Bridge, and I decide I'm going to get out in front of the car. Well, I jump out, and my buddy is doing like 45, 50, somewhere in there. And I'm in the very front of the car, sitting down and in the position of the thinker. Well, you should have seen some of the looks I got from oncoming cars. What would have really sucked his head, he had to stop real quick because, yeah, about 50 mile an hour coming to a sudden stop on the front end of a car. No, that's going to tingle just a little bit. Or the time that my friend tried to car surf from car to car. No, my brother don't drive for that. Because he accidentally tapped his brakes when he wasn't supposed to, and had my friend not been about 6'4" and able to grab the front end of the vehicle that was behind us, yeah, it had gotten a little scary. But as for everything else, uh, I'm trying to think. Oh, not to mention something else I've learned, especially within this story. When you're trying to car surf, do not do it intoxicated. I've made that mistake. Yeah, I nearly ripped the windshield wipers off my Buick. The fact that my friend was driving from the back passenger seat while I had the cruise control set to about 55. Yeah, I literally set the cruise control on my 93 Buick Century to 55 coming down the road. I said, "Hey, grab the wheel." He goes, "Why?" I said, "I'm getting on the car. I'm in the driver's seat." I get out the driver window. He's in the back passenger seat. Now, granted, it was wrong because there was, I believe, two females back there, and there was another female and a dude in the front seat, and we were all heading out to my house. Well, he grabs the steering wheel from the back passenger, and I get out on the top of the car. He jumps to the front seat, and I'm just sitting there, sitting in little Indian style, going, beefy, beefy. So, yeah, the things that I have done in my wilder days, my young and dumb days, because I guarantee you, if you'd have caught me back, about 10 years ago, some of the stuff and the stories I had just completed would blow your mind. Trust me. Now, this is Special J. Yeah, and some of you wonder why I say I'm special. You should have seen some of the stuff I've managed to pull. But as for this segment, it's all just about wrapped up. And here is the geek.
So, number one movie lately has been Sharknado 2. It has been trending worldwide for a week.
Are you serious?
And it's action. It's an action movie. I mean, it's kind of crazy that movie has been.
It's such a crazy concept, it's almost retarded.
Well, and if you never watched them, you need to watch them. I've actually watched the first one. It's so stupid. It's funny. And Tara Reid's in it, so that kind of explains a little bit.
Hey, she's still cute. I don't give a damn what you say.
And the dad from Home Alone's in it too. But on that, we're gonna go into what's called. We're gonna go into this thing. It's called the top 10 action movies countdown. We're going to start with an IGN list. So, we're going to go into the IGN's top 10 list here of action, and then we're going to give our top 10 list. IGN's top 10. Starting at number 10 was Enter the Dragon, which starred Bruce Lee. The Bourne Ultimatum was number 9. Number 8, RoboCop. Number 7, Lethal Weapon. Number 6, Matrix. Number 5, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Number 4, Mad Max 2. Number 3, Aliens. Number 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 1, Die Hard. So, now with his top 10, we got Special G.
Okay, this is not necessarily a a set list, but these are some action movies that I really, really like. Number 10, you know, gotta love the Terminator. Just all out brute force action. And to follow that, you've got the Aliens. Oh, and the Predator. Now, the concept of Alien versus Predator, I like that. Especially when you've got the Predators hunting the aliens. But my next pick isn't necessarily what most people consider an action movie. It's more of a horror, but there's still a lot of action in it because it's just Jason Voorhees at his best. Now, as for the rest of this list, there's a few on there that a lot of people like. There's one or two of them, well, that are, well, most of my favorites are older. There's one or two that aren't quite that old. But as for the rest, we got Mission Impossible. Next, we have The Escape Plan. Now, the storyline behind this was unprecedented because I'm surprised someone else hadn't thought of it first. Seriously. And then, getting back to the old school, we got Die Hard. Seriously, got to be one of the best action series of all time. And now, as far as the last three, they're some of my favorites of all time. I'm gonna start the top three with The Matrix. I mean, the storyline, the graphics, the CG animation, everything, wonderful, top notch. But the final two, I don't care what y'all say. They my favorite action movies of all time. Being The One with Jet Li and Jason Statham. Seriously, y'all got to watch this movie. If you have not seen it, go out, rent it, buy it. I don't care how you see it. Just watch it. War's a good movie, but The One's better. But favorite action movie of all time. To some people, it was cheesy. Well, in a way it was, but it's still one of my favorites. It's called Mortal Kombat. And to me, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. So if they ever come out with another movie, I'm going to be at the release or the pre-release party somewhere, somehow. I don't care where it's at. I don't care if I have to hitchhike. I will be there.
So we're going to get in my top 10 list here. Number 10, Oblivion. I saw Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman. It was an awesome movie. Number 9, True Grit. It was, who was in that?
Have you drawn a blank yet?
No. True Grit. Who is that?
True Grit?
Yeah. I did. I drew a blank on it.
Monkey Nuts.
Jeff Bridges. There we go. Jeff Bridges. Give me a second. My number 8 is Ready to Rumble. Number 7, RoboCop. Number 6 was Indiana Jones. And I'm not specific on which one. It has to be Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was a great movie. I think it was overall probably really good for a Lucas movie. Number 5, Star Wars, Episode 3, A New Hope, because that was the best Star Wars, the original Star Wars, and to me, no one can ever compare to that movie. Number 4, to me, it had to be one of the best action movies made recently, The Expendables, because it had every action star in it. Even the second one was great, and it looks like the third one's going to be amazing too. So, I mean, Expendables to me has to make a list because the whole series has been amazing. Number 3, Lord of the Rings. Now, Lord of the Rings has been a great series overall. It always has been like a great series and has always just been something that everybody should like. Number 2, Kingdom of Heaven. Great movie with Orlando Bloom. which also, he was also in Lord of the Rings. So two of him, he made two of my movie list here. Kingdom of Heaven was just great because it had a lot of biblical truth to it, I think, and it also had a lot of history in it. So it was really good. Number one overall to me has to be Top Gun. Tom Cruise literally stole that movie. And to me, if you're not a fan of Maverick and Goose, then you can go fuck yourself. But that's how I feel about that. Um, so next week's show, we'll be back next Wednesday. So please tune in, and we're gonna have a special countdown. It'll be a top 5 countdown. It's gonna be turtles based. Top 5 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle characters. Doesn't even have to be a turtle. It can be somebody on the show, like a villain or something. So this will be kind of interesting to see who makes what list on each one of our lists here. On that note, this is the Geek here in the Geek Lab in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And this is
Special G.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in and geek on.